My passion that continues to drive me as we do this work is really understanding from that phone call and other conversations with my dad that it took him 17 years to get his benefits. There was a lot of unknowns in that period, a lot of lack of awareness because he didn't realize he reapplied. He did apply when he retired in 2000 after 20 years serving in the military. And he also did special forces, Ranger Green
Oh my
Beret.
goodness. Wow.
He traveled to South America, did a lot of things, and had injuries that, legally he should have been taken care of for, compensated, and provided medical care for. But they basically just gave him 10% for his tinnitus ringing in his ears.
What inspired you, Gino, to start Champions for Veterans? And how did your personal journey shape its mission?
Wow. Yeah. So basically, we started back in 2020 after a conversation with my dad. And that's where the vision started. My dad he had been helping veterans for 3 years at that point to get their VA disability benefits. And he saw amazing results. And at the time, I was in a place where I wanted to be an entrepreneur. I was working in the corporate world in accounting. And I did that for about 9 years. And I said, we can take what you're doing and teach and vets to get their benefits and bring it to an online course and just help out a lot more people. And that's basically where we started. But, for me, my heart and my passion that continues to drive me as we do this work is really understanding from that phone call and, other conversations with my dad that it took him 17 years to get his benefits. And that 17-year period, he wasn't constantly pursuing, but there was a lot of unknowns in that period, a lot of, lack of awareness because he didn't realize he reapplied. He did apply when he retired in 2000. That's one thing. He applied for benefits when he retired, and he was given 10%. Basically, I don't know if you know much about the benefits, but 10%, you go up from 0% to
Okay.
100%. And after 20 years of serving in the military, and he also did special forces, Ranger Green
Oh my
Beret.
goodness.
Spent,
Wow.
yes, yes, he traveled to South America, did a lot of things, and had injuries that, legally he should have been taken care of for, compensated, and provided medical care for. But they basically just gave him 10% for his tinnitus ringing in his ears, which is a pretty common thing that many vets deal with because of those loud noises that they're around all the time. But he had 100 and over, I think 120, 130 jumps out of airplanes. And so major back problems, knee, joint, ankle, hip problems. And, growing up, I saw him suffering, from I graduated high school in 2006. And so in the early 2000s, I played football and we've always been pretty physical
Mhm,
family,
mhm,
wrestle a little
mhm.
bit and play, work out. And there were times when he would be on his stomach because his back would be hurting so badly that he just
Mm.
couldn't move around. And, I didn't even know at that point that, oh, this is from his service and he should be taken care of for this, but he wasn't. And so, from my perspective, I know that our whole family was impacted because these VA benefits from 0 to 100% are substantial, not only in terms of medical benefits, if you got 100%, if he would have been there, back when he retired, he would have had head to toe medical coverage fully taken care of. He would have gotten a check probably at that point around $3,000. It's now $4,000 per month, tax
Uh-huh.
free, which would have put our family in a very different position, coming from he retired with, smaller retirement and had to kind of figure out entrepreneurship and build a business, which, inspired me. But to know that we missed out on over $600,000 or so in benefits over a 17-year period. Plus, I would have gone to college for free. I ended up having over $60,000 in student loans. I would have had like a check coming in. My other siblings would have had those benefits. And, these are benefits that we were eligible for and we should have gotten them. And our family would be in a very different position had we gotten them, but we didn't.